Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be back with another football chat. I think now is the perfect time to sit down and talk about football because it's towards the end of the year. We've had a lot of great matches. It's kind of nice to take a look and assess everything that we've seen this year and just predictions for next year. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. And if you haven't been following me on my other social media platforms and also here on YouTube Shorts, I have this new series where I say a name of a football player or a football coach or somebody in the football world that I would love to interview one day. And I think now we're on like day 17 or 18. I do one every single day. So if you want to check that out, I'm posting that every day on my Instagram, my YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. So that's really fun. But let's get right into this video. First, let's talk about the FIFA awards. I think they were a true reflection of the Ballon d'Or ceremony. I expected these winners. We've seen them win in the Ballon d'Or ceremony, and it definitely made sense. They've been players and people that have truly contributed to the success of last season. Ousmane Dembélé winning the best men player, and Aitana Bonmati winning the women's, and also having Gianluigi Donnarumma being the best goalkeeper, which definitely made sense. Even though he is at Man City now, he contributed so much to the success of PSG and even to the success of Man City now. They're currently second in the Premier League, just 2 points away from Arsenal, and I think they're top contenders to win the Premier League this season. I made a little list on who I think will be on the top 5 of the Premier League this season, so let's just take a look at it. I know that obviously there's so many more matches to be played, but it's just a fun prediction for now before we get into the new year. So in 5th place, I have Sunderland. Sunderland has been a team that has truly surprised me in the best way possible this season. They're an incredible team, and they're a team that I think that I can definitely see them going far this Premier League. I think they're going to definitely finish in the top 5. They've been doing really well, and if they keep up being that consistent and that strong and having those strong performances the way they have been showing so far, I just know they're going to do really well till the end of the season and make that top 5. In 4th place, I have Chelsea. I can also see Chelsea being 3rd, but I put them 4th for this prediction. They're a great team, and I expect great things from them. We all always expect great things from Chelsea, so I put them in 4th. In 3rd place, I have Liverpool. Liverpool is a team that has been going through it. They have been a team that hasn't had the smoothest season so far. They had their ups and downs, and I think they're just getting back to that, to those ups. That now they're getting back to it. They're more united as a team, and I feel like they're more focused than they were before. And I have a feeling that obviously Liverpool is going to make their way up by the end of the season, and they're going to overcome all those obstacles, and I can see them being in the top 3 this season, like they usually are. They always are in like top 3, either they're winning or 2nd or 3rd. So I definitely see them around like in that area for this Premier League. In 2nd place, I have our current leaders of the Premier League, Arsenal. Arsenal is a team that I can also see winning, but I put them 2nd for this prediction. They're also a team that I can see very well winning the Champions League this season. They've been really great, so I expect great things from them till the season's over. They're great players, and they've been doing so well this season, so definitely expecting them to be in those top spots for sure. And in 1st place, the winners of the Premier League, in my opinion, for this season will be Manchester City. Manchester City is a really great team that I think, they didn't have the best season last season, but we can't forget about their previous seasons and the history they've made. I think this season is definitely their comeback era. They've been doing really well, and I can really see the team just more united, more together, more focused, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won the Premier League this season. I think they're currently in 2nd place, just 2 points 2 points after Arsenal, so I can definitely see them, building a strong momentum and making that number 1 spot in the leaderboard and keeping it and winning the Premier League this season. Again, only time will tell, but they're a great team, and I'm expecting really great things from them. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Manchester City fan. Maybe a little bit. Of course, I would love to see them win, but I really see them having a really high chance of winning this season. So I also wanted to include Aston Villa because they're a great team that have been doing so well this season. So I think I put them as like an honorable mention of a team that I can definitely see in the top 5 and doing really well this Premier League. So I know I said 5 teams already, but I'll also throw Aston Villa in there because they've been doing really well, and I wanted to highlight them as well in this video. Since we're talking about Premier League teams, let's talk about Arsenal a little bit more and how they are just a clear favorite for the Champions League this season. And I can definitely see them winning the Champions League. I know I said this before, and we gotta wait a little bit until the Champions League is back because they're done for the year. The Champions League is back in January of 26, so we gotta wait a little bit more, unfortunately, but I'm sure we're gonna have obviously really great matches. Arsenal is currently in first place, been doing really well, and I expect them to continue that momentum. But again, it's so difficult to make clear predictions because anything can change and anything can happen, especially in football. But I think that Arsenal has a really high chance of winning the Champions League this season. Now let's talk a little bit about La Liga. You know, my team, FC Barcelona, is currently leading, and I'm so happy for it. But you know, it's one of those things that in this stage right now, Barcelona is first, but maybe the next stage Real Madrid is first, because Real Madrid was first and then Barcelona came, and then there's always, like, both Real Madrid and Barcelona are two teams that, you know, either one of them is gonna win La Liga that season, because they just are always in competition with one another. And they're two teams that, you know, I feel like it just depends on who happens to be first at the end of the season, because they change up so quickly. Like in a couple of weeks we have Real Madrid, and then the next couple of weeks we have Barcelona. So I feel like it's just such a like a random chance to see who's gonna be at number one at the end. And I think that it makes it exciting. Of course, you have two teams that have such history and are always competing against one another, but you know, it's interesting. Barcelona is currently first right now. Real Madrid is a close second, but we'll see what happens. If I had to make a prediction, I think I would say Barcelona for the win for La Liga. But again, you never know. Maybe that's just my Barcelona fan talking, but we'll see what happens. I think it's always just a 50-50 chance with these two teams and who's going to win La Liga that season. Now let's talk a little bit about Major League Soccer, the MLS. And I know that, you know, the MLS has ended because we had our MLS Cup winners, which were Inter Miami, and they faced off the Vancouver Whitecaps at the final. It was a great match, and I think a lot of people expected so much from it. We had some great players playing, so it was really cool. Since I didn't make a video around that time, I thought I would include that in this video. You know, Inter Miami had such a great performance, and I think that winning the MLS Cup was such a nice way for Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets to kind of wrap up their career, since they are officially retired. And to win that with Luis Suarez and Messi being part of the same team just really brought you back to those Barcelona days, and it was so beautiful and so emotional. And I'm really happy that they won, because, you know, it was a strong match. It was really tough, because Vancouver Whitecaps are a really strong team being led by Thomas Müller. So again, it was really cool to witness. And again, I'm really happy that they won because of this, and how, and I feel like I literally got flashbacks of the time when they were at Barcelona. And for me as a fan who kind of became a fan of football, watching them play at Barcelona and seeing them at Inter Miami back together again, and having those two players kind of retire, and it was a whole thing, and it was really awesome to witness, and really happy that they won. And you know, I'm excited for next season. You know, MLS has been getting bigger and bigger, which I love. I know a lot of people are like, well, who watches the MLS, blah blah blah. I watch the MLS, and I think it's really cool. And I think that people should start watching it more, because we are witnessing some really amazing football. We're seeing so many great players, new players that we've seen in other clubs, like more and more players considering the MLS, and more players just potentially coming in and playing at the MLS. That was all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again with another football chat very soon. Bye.